Hey guys, so today I am going to be giving you guys a story time. I realized that I haven't given y'all a good story time in quite some time. I think I've only ever done one story time on my channel, so I need to do another one. I feel like story times, they're fun for me to make and they're fun for you guys to watch and listen to, so why not do more of them? So today I am going to do a story time about my worst date ever. Okay, so let me just get right into it. I'm gonna paint the picture for y'all and let y'all know what happened. So this was, it had to have been what is it, almost the end of 2018, so it had to have been about 2016. Yeah, probably like 2016. I was still living in Houston then, and so I was like heavy like on the dating apps. I'm talking like Bumble, even Tinder. Did a little bit of Soul Swipe back in my day, you know, like it was serious. It was serious, you know. So I ended up meeting this guy on Bumble, and we are going to name him David. So I meet David on Bumble and we talk a little bit on the app, and then we ended up exchanging numbers and we're like texting every day, like, you know, for like a considerable amount of time each day, and we had really good conversation. And he was a very like emotionally, I guess, in tune person. Like he was always super sweet and like saying nice things and like asking really in-depth questions, like really trying to get to know me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was excited to meet him in person, you know, because I'm like, oh my gosh, if he's like this, you know, via text message, then, you know, in person, like we're really gonna click. But anyways, so we eventually made a date to like link up and just hang out. It wasn't anything serious. Like it wasn't like we were going to dinner or anything like that. Like we were just going to meet at Starbucks and just like chat for a little bit. So that's what we did. We met at Starbucks, and I ended up getting there like maybe like 15 minutes earlier than he did, only because I lived a lot closer to the Starbucks that we picked. So I ended up like waiting for him for a good amount of time, and then the Starbucks was actually like really packed, and so we ended up with like one of those high, like almost like bar stool type tables that were like really high and had like the bar stools to sit on them, which was like not ideal for like talking and like trying to get to know someone, but that's the only freaking table they had available at the time. So he finally shows up, we say hi, a little hug or whatever, and then like immediately he's just like, this is the table we're sitting at. And I was like, well, look around, fucker, there's nothing else. So we ended up, we were just like, whatever, we'll figure it out. So we get in line, order our coffee or whatever, and he's taking a day and a half to order his coffee. And I'm just like, have you never been to Starbucks before? Like, are you used to like other cafes? Which I think he was. I think he was used to like smaller, like, I don't know, like independent mom and pop type cafes. And so like I get it, like Starbucks can be a little intimidating. I'm like, I still go to Starbucks and get intimidated, and I know my order. So that wasn't the issue at first, you know, like I was just like, okay, cool. But like I knew what I wanted, so I was just waiting on him, and he was just kind of like, well, just order your coffee. And I'm like, no, I'm not ordering my coffee without you, because you're gonna pay for my damn coffee. But he just was like, order your coffee. And so like I just got so fed up with him, because he was literally stalling. Like he was just staring at the menu and just stalling the entire time. So I was like, screw it, whatever, I'll pay for my own coffee. So I pay for my coffee. As soon as I pay for my coffee, that's when he decides he's gonna freaking order his. And I was just like, oh my gosh, whatever. But then I was like, you know what, Trinity, chill, because you're just meeting this guy. Like, honestly, if I were a guy, I don't know that I would be so eager to like pay for everything for a female either, especially if I don't know for sure this is someone I want to like spend time on. But at the same time, you also want to make a good impression, so why not just spend $3.50 on my damn coffee? I don't understand that, but whatever. So we get our coffees. I get over the fact that he didn't pay for mine. We go and we sit outside and we're just having like casual conversation and stuff, and it was cool at first, you know, but it's also like there's only so much that you can talk about with someone that you don't really know. And even though we talked like via text messages and stuff like that, like it wasn't, I don't know, like I guess we had run out of things to talk about, I guess you could say. So we were kind of just like recapping like all of our conversations, which was fine. I didn't mind until like it got to the point where we started talking about like, you know, just living in Houston and how it's hard to like meet people, and you know, like he was trying to meet people through the app, and like so was I. Like there's no shame in that. But I called myself like trying to like help him out a little bit, because he lived like, I guess she's like 30 minutes from outside of the city. And so he was like, you know, all of his coworkers and like everything that's like fun and I guess like popular is like in the city, and he lives so far away. And I was like, well, you know, like, you know, just like after work, like you don't necessarily have to go straight home after work. Like you can just drive in and like get a couple of drinks with some people, or do this or do that. And he's like, well, I have a dog. And I was like, oh, you know, well, that's sweet, you have a dog. But like every time I like tried to suggest something to him, he was like, well, I have a dog and like I really love her and I hate to leave her, and I already spent a lot of time at work and I don't want to leave her any longer than I have to. And I was like, well, I understand that. Like, yeah, if you work 12-hour shifts, you're not going to want to leave your dog for another 4 hours, like, you know, if you don't really have to. Like, I get that, but you don't have to spend that much longer away from them. Like, you can like go and get a quick drink for like an hour or two and then come back and get your dog. Or you can go and get your dog and let them out or do whatever they need to do, feed them or whatever, and then go and hang out with people, you know. Like, I feel like there are ways around what he was trying to, I guess, insinuate. And so, but just like everything I told him, he just was like, well, I have a dog, I don't want to leave her, I don't want to leave her, I have a dog, I have a dog, I don't want to leave her, I don't want to leave her. And our conversation went from trying to get to know each other just to him talking about his dog. He was like showing me pictures of his dog. He had a freaking Rottweiler that he slept with every night, and I was like, this dog is huge. This wasn't a baby. This dog was huge. Huge. And honestly, like I always imagine like if I had a dog, regardless of how big they are, because I've always wanted a boxer, and those suckers are huge. And I was like, I don't care if I have a dog that's sleeping in the bed with me, I don't care how big they are. So, you know, it's cute and I respect that, but it's just like the way he was talking about her, it was like he was so in love with his dog. It was like to the point where I just wanted to be like, are you in a relationship with your dog? Like, what's going on? So I just like, eventually, like I just got like fed up and I just stopped talking, period. And so it got to the point where I was trying to like end the date, you know, like, oh, you know, what do you got planned for the rest of the day? Like, oh yeah, I have to do this, I have homework, or I want to get home early and get ready for work tomorrow. And he was not getting the point. He would just stare at me for a little bit and just be like, so what else do you want to talk about? Dude, there's nothing else to talk about. Like, clearly, the only things I gathered from our entire time together was that he was Canadian, he used to be in a rock band, and he was fucking infatuated with his dog. That's it. That's all I got from him, and I was done. So I just wanted to leave, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings because I felt like it was getting to the point where I can only be nice for so long. I'm not even going to like cut it short with you guys. Like, I can only be nice for so long, and I just was done with the conversation. I was done with the date. Like, we didn't have anything in common at all, but he just would not let me go. And it, like, I almost just got up and walked off. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I literally sat for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes just trying to get him to understand that I wanted to leave. And it just was like mind-boggling to me. Like, why don't you get this right now? So anyways, he kept asking me, he's like, so what else? What else? What else do you want to talk about? What else do you want to talk about? Like, what else do you want to know about me? And I'm like, dude, nothing. I don't want to know anything else. So eventually he was like, all right, well, you know, it was nice meeting you. It was nice hanging out with you. And I was like, oh yeah. And in my head, I'm like, thank you, finally. So we get up and we're like walking to the parking lot. He's like, oh, where did you park? And I was like, oh, I'm right here. Where'd you park? He's like, oh, I'm down there. Didn't walk me to my car. It was still daylight, but whatever. And to be honest, I didn't really know him. He didn't really need to know what car I was driving, but still. So he was just like, oh, okay. So he just gave me a hug and he was like, we'll be in touch, right? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, yeah, just text me or whatever. Never heard from him again. And you know what? I like it that way because we clicked so much on text messages, but like in person, he was just such a different person, and I don't get it. He was like dry and like just kind of like really awkward, which like awkward doesn't bother me, but it was like almost like rude awkward, and I just like, I wasn't for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the worst date I've ever been on that I can think of at the time. I don't really go on a lot of dates. I don't know like if y'all can guess that or not. I don't. But the dates that I have gone on have been pretty decent actually, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful that I haven't had like a true horror story, but you know, we'll see. I'm single. It might happen. I don't know. But yeah. So that's the worst date that I've ever been on at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.